Okay, yes, good day, guys. Today I'm going to do an exercise based on this document here. Okay, so what I want is for you to take a picture so that you can have this document on your phone while I am busy drawing or tutoring this thing. Okay. This is based on revolved base. It has some features of ribs. I can see circular patterns and so forth. Okay. So based on the scope that I got from my students, they are only going to write about revolved base. I'm going to cover that. Then, depending on how I feel, I might further explain on how to draw the ribs. Because to those students who do not understand Solidworks clearly, to go further, it might further confuse them. I will also share on how to use the scale, how to select the material, and how to check for weight, center of mass, and so forth. Okay. So I believe you guys have a picture now. So I'm going to remove this thing and share SolidWorks so that I can start with my session. Okay. So let me go to a new share. Okay. I'm going to share SolidWorks right now. So what we are going to do right now, we are dealing with parts. We are not yet at assembly point where we draw different parts and we need to assemble them. We are not yet there. Okay. So I believe by now you have the picture by your side. And I believe the dimensions are clearly visible. Okay. So take note, we are given the scale of 1:2, right? So you must take special attention to that. The dimensions that you see there, we're not necessarily going to use them as they are, unless it's an angle, of course. Yes, I don't think angles are being affected by dimensions. Okay, still recording. All right, so I'm going to create a new part. Let me get rid of these things. I really don't need that part right now. Okay. So the first things first, guys, is to go to sketch, select the sketch button up there. Then you get your plate. All right, you get your plate. So depending on what they said, sometimes the question paper choose for you which plane you should take. Okay. So in this question, they should ask from which side they sectioned. All right. So if I choose the front plane, the left part of the diagram is what you're gonna see as the final drawing. Okay. If I decide to choose it like that. But if I decide to choose, for example, a right plane, yeah, if I decide to choose a right plane, the front plane will be a wheel as you see it. Okay, so I will decide to work on a right plane so that when I make an isometric view, you can have something very nice to see. Okay, so my first step to draw this thing is to put a center line. I'm dealing with a circular object, so I need a center line to reference my parts to it. Okay, so some of the things that I'm going to do them before I revolve, although you can do them after you are done with your revolve base. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the lower part of that side view. Okay, the left hand diagram, I'm going to draw the lower part of it. So I'm going to then revolve it around the center line when I'm done. Okay, so what I am to do is, let me, yes, okay, I will just start everywhere because I can dimension afterwards. So bear in mind, when I'm drawing like this, you can see an angle there of 180 degrees. That angle is to reassure that my line is horizontally placed. So from my starting point to where my pencil is, the angle is 120 degrees. I mean 180 degrees, meaning it's a straight line. Okay, I press, I just left clicked, then I go down. Okay, after going down, I'm going to, every time where I want to curve or change direction, I left click. Okay, then I go to that direction. I left click. Bear in mind, I'm not following any procedure here. I'm just trying to imitate the shape that I'm seeing there. From then, I'm going to smart dimension so that it can look like what we have there, right? So right now, it's just for me to have the shape, okay? So we have three of these guys. Yes, it says 90. So when I go up or down, you see the angle 90 degrees. It's also to guarantee you that you are moving in a vertical manner, okay? It just tells you that, oh, okay, good news, your line is straight up, right? Now we have three of those guys, the peaks. We have three peaks, so I can just decide to go down, right? Now I have another triangle to deal with. So this thing, you can see it's skewed like an angle, like a triangle. I'm not following a specific angle for now. I'm just drawing so that I can get a similar shape as the one that I have down there. All right. So skip. Can you see from the diagram from here to this point, you have a slant length, meaning the distance between the center line and this part, it's different. Okay. So we are going to attend to that after revolving our object. Okay, so the next thing to do here is to smart dimension. Yes, it's to smart dimension. So I'm going to smart dimension. First things first, the distance between this and that. By the way, we have a scale, 1:2. I'm going to have everything that I see. All right, so that dimension of 50, it's from the other side of the circle. It's like a diameter, by the way, and I'm dealing with a radius. So if the diameter is 50, that means the radius is 25. But in this case, we are dealing with the scale of half. So the half of 25, it should be 12.5. Okay. So this dimension here should be 12.5. Then before I mess up my drawing, I'm going to sort the angle between these two. Escape. So if you clicked something and okay, think between this and that, escape. So this dimension I don't want, so I'm going to delete it. Just click the dimension, left right click, there's a delete button, you delete it. All right, I'll be back to that dimension. So I just did the distance between my center line and this point. Okay, the next thing that I want is to have the overall dimension of this thing. All right, so for me to have the overall dimension, I need to know the thickness of the wheel. All right, up there we are given this part as 12. So half of 12 should be 6. It should be 6 because of the scale we are given. So even this one, by the way, they never told us that they are equal, unless if there was a statement, but I just assume that they really are. Okay. So we have a 6 there. We also have a 6 here. Okay. The next thing to do is to measure from this line to this line. We are given a 40. So half of 40 is 20. Okay. So that means this is 8, half of 16. Yes, it should be driven like that. Okay. So this one should also be 8. So now let me check. That is 34. By the way, when you pull up that dimension and you see 34, you don't just assume, oh, okay. So since it's 34, that means they're equal. You really need to make sure that it's defined. Okay, guys. Yes. So right now there's a gap between my center or my origin and the other end of my diagram. So I really need to make sure that the distance between that dot of this origin and this side is 0 so that they are aligned. Can you see now it moves exactly parallel to the origin? Okay. So and when you look at here, it says underdefined. So we still need to define our sketch. I attended to this dimension of 50. I need to attend to the one of 120. Okay. So from this point to the other side, it says 120. So when I deal with the radius, because that is a diameter, the radius of 120 is 60. Now I'm applying my scale. So my scale is half of that. Okay. So my scale is half of that. Escape, that's not what I want. I want a smart dimension, yes. So from here, To this point, we want a 30. Yes. Now, I need to know the angle between this. Let me see. It's between this line and the slant. Okay. So between this and this, no, it says 42. Yeah, it says 42. So we want it to be a 30. It's given. Yes. I hope I'm taking the right sides. So we want this to be a 30. Is given. So when you want to define an angle, see this thing. Okay, it's defined as a 30. So when you want to define an angle, you press the two adjacent side, like this side and this one. Okay. Now, the next thing to do, it's still undefined, by the way. We attended to 120, it became a 30. So we need to attend to 254 divided by 2, because I'm always dealing with radius, hence the center point or the center line. So now I have 127 as a half of 254, all right? So now I need to apply the scale. So now divide by 2, I get 63.5. So I have 63.5. So I'm going to measure it from the center point to this point here. We get like 63.5. Okay. So only one line was moved. So take note, this line is defined. This line over here, it's not defined, right? So now I press my center line first, then I come back to this line. I also define it as 63.5. Let's see now. We are still underdefined, guys. So okay. Now the next thing to do, we have 105 from this point to the center line. Okay. So since that one is also a diameter, and I'm dealing with radiuses, 105, it's divided by 2. I have a radius without applying the scale. Now I'm applying the scale, so I'm dividing it further by 2, which I get from here to this line. I get 26 to 25. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are still underdefined. Which other? Let me see. So right now, let me see, guys. This thing has to be. Let me see, from this side to the origin. It should be, yeah, forced. That's perfect. Okay. Now, and guys, don't be tempted to revolve your to revolve your diagram without fully defining it, because let me see. I'm concerned about this side. All right. From the circle, you have 280, of which is the overall dimension of the width. All right. So divide by 2, I have 140. Okay. So from here to this part, it should be, is it? Yes. It should be 140. I think so. No, it should be 70, because now I'm dealing with the radius. Divide further by 2, then this should be a 70. I'm sorry, guys, for giving out the wrong value. This is my first time seeing the question, and I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. Okay. So okay. So let me see. If I press here, I want this line. It should be 72. All right. Okay. So it's still underdefined, guys. So from this side to this side, it must be forced, yes. Okay. Now, how about this guy here? Because I don't remember dealing with this guy. This line over here, I don't remember. Oh, yes. This line, I didn't specify it. It is also a 40. It's given in the right hand diagram. I mean, left hand diagram. The side view of the wheel as a 40 up there. Okay. So half of 40 is a 20. The 20. So it's also a 20. Now, that one is defined. So what else? You see? So it's still underdefined. I'm running out of idea, guys. So, okay. Now, did I specify the distance between this point? Okay. No, not that, but the distance between this point and the origin, because it should be forced as 34. Okay. So now that one is also referenced as 34. And this one is an 8. This one must also be an 8 first. Yes. Exit. I'm concerned about this line. Oh, yeah, it's given. Now, we have 215, guys. It's given on the wheel again. I think that is the only remaining yes. I think that is the only remaining feature that we didn't install. Okay. So 215 divided by 2 because I'm dealing with the radius, further divide by 2 because of the scale. we get 53, comma, I get 53,75. Okay, so okay, guys, now our diagram is it's fully defined. I decided to mute because of some background noise, so forgive me for that, okay? So now since our diagram is fully defined, we can right. So before I am going to revolve it, I can just deal with this fillet over here so that I mean it's less of a job for me. Okay. So between you see this dot over here, I can just come here and make it a fillet. So now that fillet was given to us as a radius of 5 because of the scale. I'm going to divide it by 2, so we get a radius of 2.5. Let's see how the fillet looks like. Okay. Yes, we want it here, of course. It's there. Yes. Now we have our fillet. All right. Let me press here. So now we can revolve the base. Okay. I decided to press there up there on revolve base. Automatically, it can revolve it around the center line. If it doesn't, can you see here? It says axis of revolution. You need to click the center line as the line here, so that it can revolve itself around that center line. All right. So I'm going to tick. So now this is the final diagram that we have after revolving it. If you want to see different views, you come here. If you want to see the top view, this is your top view. If you want to see your right view, this is your right view. All right. If you want to see the front view, this is your front view. Perfect. The wheel. This is your front view. Okay. Let me try to make it look like the one on paper. Like this. Let me see. Is it something like this? No. That one be would be not this view, but back view. Yes, I guess it's this view. So you can just play around with this thing, guys. Now it looks like the drawing on paper. You come here, then you can make it, the edge looks more visible. Okay. So you can take it back to here. It looks normal now. You can put it as an isometric view. So when you put it as an isometric view, normally they're going to give you isometric view so that you can see how your final drawing looks like. Okay, how your final drawing looks like. And you must be able to check where is your origin. Can you see where your origin is? You must be able to check where your origin is. That's one of the critical things that you need to know. So origin, let us check the right view. Is it right? Yes. Let's check the right view and check origin. So origin, it's on the right hand side. So when we check the left view, we check the left view and we check the origin, we choose the origin on the left hand side. Okay. So you must be able to play around with this thing, guys. So the next thing that I'm going to show you guys, let me show this direction. Let me see the back side. Yes. So the next thing, guys, is for me to do the circular patterns. All right. So how do you do the circular patterns? I'm just going to sketch. I want to sketch on top of this thing. Then I press sketch. So it highlights it so that automatically I'm sketching on top of it. Alternatively, you can just go to plane and make normal 2. Then you're going to draw on top of that plane. Okay. So I'm going to put one here. I can make it as big as I want as long as I'm going to smart dimension it. Okay. Now it's smart dimension. Whatever you do, take into consideration the scale. So we are given the diameter of 6, and we're dealing with a scale of half. So the diameter must be half of that. You can see there's a sign for diameter. Now I need the distance between the center to that. Okay, we have 20, and it's given as 90. That PCD of 90 there. That's the distance from this circle to the other circle on the other side. Okay, so now that is a diameter between 2 centers. I'm going to divide it by 2. I get 45. Now I'm dealing with the radius because I divided by 2. I'm dividing further by 2 to get uh, my distance. The second one is due to scale. Okay, guys. So it's 5. So right now I'm going to make a patterns of this thing. You see here, there's an option of sketch linear patterns, right? So I want circular patterns, not linear patterns. So how many do I want? Or the parameters? I want the circles. So we have an option of 4. Looking at our diagram, we have 6. So I'm going to increase it to 6. And this it even gave us the 6 holes. Okay. So the distance between them, I'm going to make equal spacing so that they are equidistant from each other. All right. Now I'm ticking. We have those things. So then we have those circles there as a pattern. Now I'm going to extrude cut. So extrude cut, there's a blind, there's a distance where I must cut through, but I don't care because I want it to appear at the other side. I'm going to press through all. So automatically it's gonna make a hole that will appear on the other side because I said through all. All right. So the next thing to do, there's in the middle, can you see this thing is straight here like a cylinder, but it's not supposed to be like that. Okay. It's not supposed to be like that, and I don't want to start from this side. So we have that view. I'm going to show this view. I'm going to make sure that this side that doesn't have a fillet, it has that diameter of 50 divided by 2, which will be the diameter of 25. Now I'm also going to open it on the other side. Okay, I'm going to open it on the other side so that the diameter on the other side is bigger. All right. So let me do it. I'm pressing here. Then I want to sketch. I want a center circle. So from the center to somewhere there. Okay, then I want to smart dimension my circle. So the diameter, it says it's 32, right? And it should be half of 50, which is 25. Right? So it will be equal with that one. Hence, you cannot notice it. Then I want to extrude cut. All right. So now this is the trick part. That thing, it has to make something like a triangle. So can you see this shape? We are going to use it. You understand? We are going to use it. It says the draft outward. Let me click it. Because we have a 50 this side, we want it to draft outward so that it gets bigger on the other side. So it wants an angle. It wants an angle. Okay. So how will I get the angle? I'm going to make shift 10, and I'm operating in degrees. And my opposite will be the difference between 50 and 80, which is 30. Okay. Divide by 2, I get a 15. All right. Now that 15, I divided it by 2 because it's not a diameter. I need to further divide it by 2 to make sure that I also stick to the scale. Then over adjacent is 34. 34, it was already scaled. Okay. I get the angle of 12, comma 4, right? So let's see. I want to view it from the other side. I don't see what I want to see, guys. Let's see. I don't see what I want to see, guys. Okay, which I want to edit. Let's see. This extrude cut was the circles, okay? So it's fine. This other extrude cut, let me exit it. This cut changes. Okay. I really wanted to edit this thing. Let me see. This is edit feature. Initially, where was it? Inside. Oh, yes. I want it to go outside. Yes. Extrude cut through all. If I don't, I'm more concerned, guys. Concerned. I said through all. Let me see before I flip the side if it's gonna do what I want it to do. Yes. 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 Now it did the things. Okay, guys. Can you see now this side is bigger than the side or than the opposing side, which is this side. You won't see because we are looking it from that 50 diameter. Now, if you want to look at it from the 80 diameter, you're gonna see the 80 and the 50 because it looks like a slant a little bit here inside. So with the revolved and other features, we should be done. All right. So the next thing to do right now is to have those ribs and plates. You understand? So according to my knowledge, the scope of your test didn't include the ribs and plates. So which will be easy. I can just draw a line here and make it a rib and make it a circular circle. I mean circular pattern. Then that's it. It's not that hard. Okay. So you guys can just comment, subscribe, and you can just yeah, just leave messages here on the YouTube video. I will attend to them. And by the way, those who want my private sessions, just email me. My email is available on my YouTube channel. Email me. I can't give out my numbers on YouTube because if 100K people view this video, that means I cannot control my WhatsApp anymore. So cheers, guys. I hope you gained something. Oh, before I almost forgot something. The material of this thing was specified. Okay, so it was specified as plain carbon steel. So yes, now can you see change the color? Material was specified, and now when they ask you to evaluate, sometimes they might ask you to check mass properties. So you go there, you can see the center of mass in millimeters, X center of mass, Y center of mass. Why does X and Y center of mass? Because of where our origin is. Hence it's 0, 0. And you have a different Z center of mass. You know? You also have a surface area of the entire diagram. You have your volume in cubic millimeters. You have your mass, you have density, everything. Basically, we are teaching you how to produce a part as an engineer. Okay. So this is the end of the video, guys. Please like, subscribe, and Yes, just support, guys. Share it with your friends so that maybe we can reach at least more than 1,000 subscribers. Then the channel will be eligible to earn something. Then we can get quality equipment to to make more videos, guys. And cheers. Right. Have a nice day.